Happy New Year, everybody. I'm your host, Coffman, and this is your weekly Road to the White House 2016, where we take a look at the most important and at times most bizarre developments in the race to be president of the United States. Before we usher in the new year, today we're going to look back at the campaign in 2015. Who should get real and quit the race? Which battle is shaping up to be the biggest of 2016? And can the GOP survive with Donald Trump as their nominee? All this and more. But first, let's start with our top 5 countdown of the best political moments of the year. And at number 5, we have, well, not exactly a moment, more like a phenomenon of people who don't know when to quit. As of today, there are still quite a few candidates who have no reason whatsoever to stay in this race, many of them hovering under 1% in the polls. At least these folks actually took a hint from the public and dropped out. And at number 5, we have, well, not exactly a moment, more like a phenomenon of people who don't know when to quit. As of today, there are still quite a few candidates who have no reason whatsoever to stay in this race, many of them hovering under 1% in the polls. At least these folks actually took a hint from the public and dropped out.
Today, I'm suspending my campaign for the presidency of the United States.
I will suspend my campaign immediately.
I'm withdrawing from any consideration of being the Democratic Party's nominee for the presidency.
After much thought, I have decided to end my campaign for the president today. Thank you.
This is not my time. I've come to the realization this is not my time. So I've come here to announce that I'm suspending my campaign for president of the United States.
Today, I'm suspending my campaign for president. I want to thank everyone who's taken this journey with me.
While tonight is the end of my journey for the White House as I suspend my campaign for president, I'm confident we can elect the right person.
Martin OMalley should go, of course, and let Bernie and Hillary fight it out, but there are still way too many in the Republican field. Rick Santorum, Mike Huckabee, Rand Paul, Carly Fiorina, and John Kasich, for example, should also do their party a favor, get out of the race so that voters can start flocking to other candidates who can seriously challenge Donald Trump. The huge Republican field until now, fueled by large amounts of ego, is partially responsible for Trump's dominance in the polls. Sometimes you just gotta know when to call it quits. And at number 4, we've got one of the biggest lies to come out of a candidate. Now, politicians from both parties are guilty of lying here and there, but according to Pulitzer Prize-winning website Politicheck, Republicans lie a whole lot more. This one from Republican candidate Carly Fiorina on a video allegedly proving Planned Parenthood uses aborted fetuses to collect their organs is astounding.
Watch a fully formed fetus on the table, its heart beating, its legs kicking, while someone says we have to keep it alive to harvest its brain.
That's quite an emotional speech there for something that never happened. All fact checkers of that GOP debate say that Fiorina's description of what took place in those videos is totally false. And at number 3, we have my favorite neurosurgeon to ever run for president, Dr. Ben Carson, who after the mass shooting in Oregon said the best thing for people to do in such cases is to charge the shooter all at once and gang up on him. He also said he was once held up in a fast food joint only to tell the gunman to go attack other people. Let's see how Trevor Noah tore into that one on The Daily Show.
Have you ever been in the face of danger?
I have had a gun held on me when I was in a Popeye's organization. Guy comes in, puts the gun in my ribs, and I just said, I believe that you want the guy behind the counter. He said, oh, okay.
You said, no, I'm not the one you want, and they followed.
They did.
Yeah. So Ben Carson was in a Popeye's chicken. A guy pulls a gun on him, and Ben Carson says, don't shoot me, shoot the guy behind the counter.
You know, when I listen to Carson, I sometimes think that maybe brain surgery isn't that difficult after all, but I can't let Carson off the hook just yet, because later on in the campaign, he graciously shared his views on how the destruction of European Jewry could have been avoided during World War II.
So, but just clarify, if there had been no gun control laws in Europe at that time, would 6 million Jews have been slaughtered?
I think the likelihood of Hitler being able to accomplish his goals would have been greatly diminished if the people had been armed.
Wow, if only the Jews had guns. If only the Jews had guns. We could have beat the Nazis, I'm telling you. At number 2, we've got Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, who just keeps it real all the time, especially when he voiced his opinion on the Clinton email saga during their first debate.
Let me say something that may not be great politics, but I think the Secretary is right. And that is that the American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails.
Thank you. Me too. Me too.
But if you ask me, the best thing about that debate is that it gave us this.
You know what? Can I just jump in here? This may not be great politics, but I think the American people are sick and tired about hearing about your damn emails.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Bernie. God, it must be fun to scream and cuss in public. I have to do all mine into tiny little jars.
And hey, what's the deal with emails anyway? I forgot my password the other day, so they say we'll email you a new one. But I can't get into my email. Forgot the password. I mean, talk about a ball buster.
Dear Lord, please make Bernie give more material for Larry David skits on Saturday Night Live. Amen. In at number 1, we have that moment that forever changed this race. It was the moment a billionaire came down a golden escalator in his tower on 5th Avenue and announced his candidacy, spewing racist comments like this about Mexican immigrants.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
It was all downhill from there. Since that moment, Donald Trump has led the GOP national polls most of the time by double digits by using classic fear and hate tactics. He's proposed banning the entry of Muslims to the United States. He's mocked a disabled New York Times reporter. His sexism knows no boundaries. He's insulted POWs like Senator John McCain, and the list goes on and on. This campaign will be remembered solely for this man's candidacy and maybe even for the irreversible damage he is doing and may keep on doing in 2016 to the Republican Party. It's time for our focus story of the week. The back and forth attacks between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are shaping up to be the battle of 2016, at least for its beginning during the upcoming crucial primary season. Let's take a look at a report.
Overnight, Donald Trump opening up the doors to his private plane, Trump Force One.
Try not to crash the woodwork if possible. Watch the ceiling, please.
And opening up the attacks on Hillary Clinton.
She's got a major problem. Happens to be right in her house.
The GOP frontrunner has the gloves off when it comes to her husband, too.
We're going to go right after the president, the ex-president, and we'll see how it all comes out. And I feel very confident that it'll come out very well for us.
And now Trump is naming names. The first candidate to drop the M word in the 2016 race for the White House.
But there was certainly a lot of abuse of women, and you look at whether it's Monica Lewinsky or Paula Jones or many of them.
On the campaign trail in New Hampshire, Hillary Clinton not even uttering her rival's name.
You see, I happen to think America is great.
And refusing to answer any questions about him. How quickly things change in an election year. The Trumps and Clintons go way back, from the golf course to that wedding. But the brash billionaire now says that invitation was a business move.
As a world-class businessman and as, frankly, a businessman, you have to get along with everybody.
And even though he wrote in 2008 that Hillary Clinton would make a great president or vice president, before a crowd of thousands in Iowa overnight, Trump sang a different tune.
Believe me, women, if it's got to be a woman, which I'm all in favor of someday, it shouldn't be Hillary. It shouldn't be her.
Okay, it's time for our social media moment of the campaign in 2015. Have you ever noticed how Donald Trump sounds, how shall I put it, a bit inebriated? If you did, you're not the only one. A group of folks called Friend Dog Studios produced a video that shows how Trump sounds somewhat like your obnoxious drunk neighbor, using some of his more famous sound bites that are mouthed by one of the actors. Take a look and grab a beer while you're at it. This one went totally viral.
We're going to talk about a lot of different subjects, and you know, it's nice Friday night. What the heck, right? You know the thing I'll be great at?
that people aren't thinking. But the thing, and I do very well at it, military. I am the toughest guy. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second. And we're going to start winning so much that you're going to be sick and tired of winning. You're going to get bored with winning. But you know what? We're going to keep winning anyway, right? Right?
I don't think I'll ever be able to look at Trump the same after that one. Brilliant stuff. I think I need a drink. I am very happy to be joined by the I-24 News diplomatic correspondent Tal Shalev. Tal, great to have you on the studio.
Hi, Ami. Nice to be here.
Tal, you have your finger on the Instagram pulse more than anyone I know. And you have your own top 5, which we'll get to in a few moments. But first, I want to talk to you about social media in this campaign, in 2015, 2016. How is it compared to like earlier campaigns, and who is using it best this time?
In 2008, it was Facebook. In 2012, it was Twitter. And 2016 belongs to Instagram and Snapchat. The money factor plays here very strong. It's relatively low cost, and it enables a direct outreach to the constituents. By all means, Trump is a front runner. Right. He set the Instagram tune and has more than 800,000 followers. And he's also our number 5. When we start this top 5, Hillary and Obama were his first and easiest targets. Hillary laughing with footage of the U.S. Embassy in Benghazi, and Obama goofing around while ISIS roams.
And at number 4, who do you got?
Well, number 4 goes to Mike Huckabee. Do you know that he plays bass guitar in a band, the classic rock band called Capital Offense?
That's amazing.
Yes, and he uses Instagram to jam for photos. We can hear him.
I hear him now, yeah.
You better put your flat feet
on. He's not too bad.
He's quite good.
Who do you have at number 3?
Number 3 is Bernie versus Hillary, the glam battle. Both of them have been trying to compete who has more celebrity friends. So Hillary posts photo with Katy Perry, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West, Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. Bernie has the Back to the Future doc, rapper Killer Mike, and actor Mark Ruffalo.
Nice. And who do you got at number 2?
Well, number 2 goes to TBT, throwback photos. Throwback photos are the biggest trend of 2016. Of course, we all like to remember when we were very young. The front runner here is by far Hillary Clinton, who basically on a daily basis posts throwback photos of herself and her family, a high school yearbook picture, or her and Bill just lounging around.
And Tal, who was your number 1 for Instagram?
Well, the one and only Donald Trolls Jeb. Donald, as we said, is the king of Instagram, and Jeb Bush is his favorite target. That's where he really likes to take the gloves off. In August, he kicked off the Instagram account with Jeb's mother.
Jeb's mother.
Let's see that.
Let's see that.
I really don't. I think it's a great country. There are a lot of great families. There are other people out there that are very qualified, and we've had enough Bushes.
That was painful to watch.
That's a big ouch. But let's see how Jeb answered.
Okay.
Why are you a Republican? I have no idea.
You know, that for me is an equal ouch. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
Trump is
you
much
think Trump
better.
On that one?
Trump is a bigger ouch.
Tasha, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's time for the Coffman Critique. After 2 terms of a Democrat in the White House, 2015 was supposed to be the opportune time for the GOP to show the American people they have an alternative to Barack Obama or an alternative to Hillary Clinton. But the Republican campaign this year not only failed to do that, many are now asking if it is currently spurring its own demise. Remember the party that fought to end slavery, to end segregation? Remember not long ago how this man talked about immigrants?
I believe in the idea of amnesty for those who have put down roots and who have lived here, even though some time back they may have entered illegally.
What would Ronald Reagan say today about the way candidates talk about immigrants?
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
And it's not only Trump. Almost all GOP candidates are using hate and fear tactics to get higher in the polls. But those tactics will not help in a changing America that is becoming less white and more progressive. The Democrats have won the popular vote in 5 of the last 6 votes for president. That's a trend that will continue and eventually translate into more and more electoral votes. It's an uphill battle for Republicans. And while Democrats seem to have understood the direction the country is going, the GOP, if Trump is any indication, is headed in the opposite direction. That's it for this week and year. Next year promises to be even crazier. Will George Pataki continue to campaign in 2017? Will Bernie Sanders stop being such a mensch? And will Donald Trump actually be the GOP nominee? Join us next time when we'll run with them down that road to the White House 2016. Bye-bye and Happy New Year.